So yesterday we have seen till what are the rules and regulations to fly aerobatically. Correct. Today we will see the rest of the rules. Here, formation flights. What are formation flights? See, formation flights are kind of flights like if you fly in US, if someone flew in US among you, you would know you can rent out aircraft, two or three friends, and fly like this. Correct, together, very close nearby, making fun of each other, talking on radio. Correct. Sometimes you see this uh, air shows, na? They do formation flights. Like five or six aircraft will be doing like this. Correct. I mean, they go together. Correct. For example, you and your friend wants to go like in US from one place to other place. You can do a formation flight. Okay. So I have a friend who is very close to me. Okay. So he always sends me videos when they do formation flights. I mean, in US, formation flights not permitted in India. No civil or general aircraft can fly as a formation in India. Of course, military aircrafts do fly. Correct. See, even though it is not permitted in India, you will get nobody will ask you any questions because it is not permitted in India. Correct. In airlines, you won't have any questions on this. In DGCA, you won't have any questions on this. But it is interesting, na? If someone of you are flying from US, okay, you have to know. So I'll teach. See, if aircrafts are flying in formation, correct, they can only do so by prior coordination. Like even before they start their flight, like I cannot say, like if Amog is doing circuits, okay, I am doing sectors, okay, I cannot say on radio, Amog, shall we do a formation flight to so and so place? No, I cannot do it. Right? The formation flights should be can only be done pre-arrangement. That means like you have to talk to the other pilots before you start a formation flight, and this has to be notified to the appropriate ATS authority. If you have a tower, correct? If you're flying over large places, all you should file a proper flight plan. And see, if you're forming uh, like a formation like this, correct, the ATC will consider this as a single flight. Okay. And who is the pilot in command? Like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pilots in command. Correct. So there will be always a leader. Okay. This will be the only guy who will talk to the ATC. Okay. They will fly as if it is one aircraft. Clear. And joining of aircrafts and leaving of aircrafts, it's all pre-planned. And who is responsible for the separation? Only the leader, of course, and he should be able to coordinate with all the pilots in command. Am I clear? Am I clear? Like if you're flying, like how many of you have seen, like in YouTube videos you would have seen, correct, they will be flying formation flights. How many of you have seen formation flights like this? Many of you, but nobody would have seen formation flights like this unless you're flying for Air Force or Red Bull, correct? Because see, the distance between the two formation flights should not exceed 0.5 nautical miles, literally, or I would say 1 kilometer, because ICAO gives in both metric units and also nautical miles. So it is their rule that if you're calling a formation flight, they should be as close as less than 0.5 nautical miles. Right? If they are flying like this, they should be as close as 100 feet. Right? This is called as longitudinal separation. This is called as lateral separation. If in my life, if I ever visit US or Canada, I'll definitely do this. Am I clear? Now see, for example, one guy went mad. He is doing all this stuff. Okay. So leader can order in the interest of safety everyone to break up. Understood? So nothing of these rules will stop the leader when it comes to safety. Am I clear? Correct? Just for fun sake, nobody will ask you questions on this in exam. See, for example, Amog kept on with his career. Okay, he went and completed his CPL. Okay, now he joined as an instructor in a flying club. Okay, part time. Okay, so when he is an instructor in flying club, I go to Amog and ask, Ki, Amog, yeah, I want to hire an aircraft and I want to fly with you. Okay, he will ask me how many hours you have. I would say, yeah, I have only like around 200 change, because by the time Amog comes out, definitely I would have completed 300-400s, but I would say 250 to be safe. Okay, so 250, and Amog will be like, you know how many hours I have? 1,000 hours. Now he is working as a instructor. Now he will increase his hours. Now, and one or two times I would have told Amog in class ki, Amog, yeah, what did you do, yeah? Correct. So he kept that in mind. Correct. And for example, in a sector, I'm flying like this. Okay. Amog is here. See, imagine I made a mistake. I came into his flight level. Okay. I made a mistake and I came into his flight level. Okay. Now, Amog will on the radio will tell, "Yeah, what are you doing, Dr. Vamshi? Yeah, what are you doing? Okay. See, whatever you do, it is your wish. I will maintain my track. Can you say that? Can you say that? Then what will I do? Okay, maintain and see. Maintain and show me. Amog, maintain and show me. Okay. As we come close, yeah, Amog will definitely get scared. I know that. Okay. You Amog, won't you?
Definitely, sir.
Definitely, na. See, I have nothing to lose. Anyway, of course, I have everything to lose here. I will be scared first. No, I'm just saying. See, in cases where two aircrafts are head on in a collision course, okay, now what is the best thing to do?
Sir, I would write off.
Correct. See, both aircraft should turn to their right. Understood? Always remember, immediately turn to your right when you are on a collision course with another aircraft head on. Okay? This is how you avoid collision when you are on, like, coming head on to each other. Is this very clear? Okay, both aircrafts will turn right. See, this is called as getting close to each other, or in cases of proximity. Cases of proximity, you turn right. Now, If you're flying like this, okay, not a small aircraft, imagine you are sitting in a airliner. Okay, now you have a seat here on the right side of the plane. Okay, now you see an aircraft here. It looks very small, very far. Okay, now you think that, yeah, this aircraft is at around from my nose on a relative bearing of, let's say, 65 degrees. Relative bearing is nothing but we measure from nose in clockwise direction, because guys came for navigation, no? So you keep thinking. When I go on aircraft, I also keep thinking. Correct. Now, after 5 minutes, same it is on 65 bearing, but it started looking bigger. After some time, it is same on 65 bearing, it started looking bigger. Correct. So when this happens, that means the bearing of the aircraft does not change, but it slowly starts getting bigger. That means at some point, the tracks are going to cross each other. Am I clear? You are on a collision course. Correct. In this case, how can you manage? Ideas, please.
Slow down the speed.
See, there is something called as right of way. Whichever aircraft is on the right, correct? Which aircraft is on the right? This one, correct? This one will have the right of way, correct? It will maintain its track. It will maintain its speed. They will ask, what will it maintain? It will maintain its track and speed. Okay. It can go normal. Okay. The other aircraft, which doesn't have the right of way, which is on the left side in this collision course, will do anything. It will slow down, it will change levels, it will turn right like this. It will do anything to avoid the collision. Okay, this is called the right of way. Am I clear? I'll read. When two aircrafts are on a collision course, the aircraft that has the right of way shall maintain its heading and speed. Okay, very clear. It will maintain its track, the heading and speed. Okay. The other aircraft that do not have the right of way shall keep out of the way, shall avoid passing very close to the aircraft. See, if this aircraft is here, if I just say I'll overfly it, it will be a very scary situation. Na? I don't know what are your aircraft altimeter settings. Correct. I don't know your aircraft capabilities. How accurate can you fly? Okay. First of all, I don't trust the other pilot. Correct. So you cannot like go very close, over, under, or in front. You should maintain a well clear distance, and you should also consider the effect of wake turbulence. Correct. You cannot say ki, here I will go fast, like I will be here by the time he reaches here, but there is a wake turbulence. Na? You have created vortices in your path. Correct. That also should be considered. Am I clear? Now, which aircraft has the right of way?
Right side.
The aircraft on the right.
This is right side.
Aircraft on the right.
Am I clear? Darwin and Azhar, are you following? You guys?
Yes, that's fine.
Next. Here, when approaching head on, you will turn to the right. You will alter every aircraft, both aircraft will alter to the right. That is understood? Yes. Here, for example, think you are the same aircraft. This is, let's say, who is flying? Manthan is flying. Okay. Now, I am flying this aircraft, this one, Vamshi is flying this. But this, today I am flying a glider. Okay. Now, because the glider is on the right, it will maintain its heading and speed. Correct. Manthan will go away. Clear? Because whichever aircraft is on the right will have right of way. Now imagine to next scenario, Vamshi is flying a glider. I am on the left, and Manthan is flying in powered aircraft, heavier than aircraft. Heavier than aircraft in the sense it has an engine and it will produce a lift. Due to the lift and thrust, the aircraft is flying. Correct. So this is Manthan. Now, if Manthan says, "Here, Vamshi, see, I have the right of way. Okay, you do whatever you want to, but I will not move. Will I be comfortable? Yeah, I am flying a glider, na? I don't have an engine. Correct. See, I am maybe going to land here. Correct. Maybe not land. Maybe my airfield is here. Okay. So if I make unnecessary turns, I may not reach the airfield. Correct. I may crash into a nearby field or something. Correct. Nearby building or something, because I don't have engine. I cannot produce lift. Correct. So in this case, if even you are on the right and you have the right of way, but you have to give your way to gliders. Am I clear? Clear. So that means if an aircraft has capabilities less than you, correct, you have to give its way. Capabilities less than you does not mean a Cessna and a 737. I'm saying a glider and an aircraft. Correct. The hierarchy is like this: power driven aircraft, in all cases, without minding the right of way, will give to an aircraft which is towing. Is towing permitted in India? No. Correct. A towing aircraft, see, aircraft is towing, but it has engines. Correct. So it will give way to airships. What is an airship? Airship will be a big kind of this thing with a small fan here. Correct. It is filled with helium. Okay, so it has some capability to generate lift and to move forward. Correct. Next, it will give way to gliders. Gliders will give way to balloons. Balloons are the least mobile things. It is difficult to move a balloon. So this is the hierarchy. Power driven aircraft will give way to aircraft towing. This towing aircraft will give to airships. Airships will give it to gliders. Gliders will give to balloons. Correct. That means power driven aircraft will give to everyone. All the towing aircrafts, airships, gliders, balloons, etc. Am I making sense, Darwin? Clear everything?
Yes, sir. Yeah, clear.
Very good. Next. See, if I am here, okay, around at 20 nautical miles, this is Vamshi. Let's say this is Amog. Amog is flying like this and said, "Hey, Dr. Vamshi, take a look on your right." What is it? Oh, I'm overtaking you. This is not overtaking, Amog. This is not overtaking. That is cheating. Understood? Are you clear? Overtaking has a definition. Okay, then I will on the radio will teach you. Among by definition, overtaking means you have to be behind me within 1 sorry, I believe it is 70 degrees. Within 70 degrees on each side. Clear? Am I clear? This is by definition overtaking. Okay. Then next day AMOG will come again. Oh, Dr. Vamshi, I am on your tail. I am overtaking you. Okay. I will file a incident report on your AMOG if you do that. You know why? You know why? The aircraft which is ahead will have the right of way. The aircraft which is behind, that means 70 degrees on either side of, like on the other side behind the fore aft axis of the aircraft, it will keep out of the way of the aircraft flying ahead. At any cost, it will keep its way out. Am I clear? Just give me a second. See, how many of you know about lights on the aircraft? Any idea? See, like the lights which you use to navigate is called as navigation lights. Okay. If the aircraft is like this, the pilot is sitting here like this, correct? So pilot's right is called as the right side of the aircraft. Pilot's left is called as the left side of the aircraft, correct? See, right has how many letters? 5 letters, correct? So right navigation light is green. Left has how many letters?
4.
4 letters, correct? That's why it is red. Understood? If you ever confuse here, if right side is green or left side is green, more number of letters, green has more number of letters, so it is on the right. Red has less number of letters, so it is on the left. Clear? Clear. Now see, these are study lights. Navigation lights are always on. That means they don't blink. They are study lights. So if they ask what is the right navigation light, it is a study green. Left navigation light, it is a study red. Okay. Now, the tail light is white light. Study white light. Am I clear? Tail light is study white light. See, if you see an aircraft flying, okay, you should recognize in the night here which way it is flying. Okay. So you, depending on the which lights you see, you can say which light, which way it is flying. Great. See, these lights will cover entire 360 degrees around the aircraft. Okay. So white light is covering how much? 70 plus 70. So 140 degrees. Clear? Clear. Red, sorry, the right and left, the red and the green lights will cover rest of it. How much it is? 360 minus 140 would be
110 degree.
360 minus 140 here. 220, na?
Okay.
Correct. So this would be 110 degrees. This would be another 110 degree. Yeah, who is
Yeah.
Azhar, be on mute. Yeah, new guys, see, whenever you want to talk, you have to press the space bar and talk. Understood? Correct. Is this clear? Correct. Covering the 360 degrees. Okay. That means to say that you are behind an aircraft, you have to have like only a look at the white light. Correct. For example, if you are here, you can see the white light, also the red light. Correct. If you are here, you can see the green light, also the white light to some extent. Correct. If you are here, if you are going like this, correct, you can see only the red light. Understood? So the navigation lights are to give the relative path of the aircraft. Correct. So if you see only white light, that means the aircraft, there is an aircraft ahead of you. You should not overtake it if you're flying at the same levels. The aircraft ahead of you will maintain its heading and track. You should alter your heading to the right to avoid the collision. You should not overtake, undertake closely, or you should take all this thing into account. Am I clear? Overtaking means an aircraft that approaches another aircraft from rear on a line forming an angle of less than 70 degrees with the plane of symmetry of the aircraft. That means the fore aft axis of the aircraft. Plane of symmetry is like you can divide the aircraft into two parts, correct? If you, that is the longitudinal axis. Am I clear? Here, the aircraft being overtaken, which is being overtaken, has the right of way. Amok, I have the right of way. Okay. If you overtake, na, come down. We'll see. I'll file a complaint. Understood, Amok? Never do it. And the overtaking aircraft, here, sorry. The overtaking aircraft shall keep out of the way by altering its heading to the right. Okay. So in any case, if there is something coming to collide, or if there is an obstacle, always you, like an aircraft, always you turn right. Correct. Am I clear? Here in this, in this figure, you write this figure. You draw this figure. Okay. Let me draw the aircraft a bit thick. Is this clear? Super clear, everyone? No.
Sir, sir, when there is an aircraft to the right side, which is let us say a relative bearing 90 degree, so then the right of way is with that aircraft, right? I have to do anything to avoid a collision with that aircraft. I can even descend or ascend or turn anywhere, right?
How are you on collision course if this is Amog?
Yeah.
This is the aircraft, this dot. Which heading is it flying? This is relative bearing 90 degrees, as you said.
Yeah.
Which heading it is flying? Give me the heading
Oh.
also, no?
Yeah, around let's say 12 o'clock.
Flying parallel, no?
Yeah, but I won't be knowing, right? If in case if it is slightly tilted toward the left, at some point it might
See, at some point,
join.
see, if it is slightly tilted like this, correct, it will remain on your 90 degrees relative
So
bearing.
1 second, you became mute. I'll come back.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. See, if this aircraft is on a relative bearing of 90, and let's say its course is, let's say, 350 degrees, you're maintaining north 0 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay. So this aircraft initially will look small to you. You may not notice, but as you come here, it would also have come here. Correct. That means both are maintaining almost same speeds, but it will look bigger. And here, if you're here it is closer and it will look bigger. Still, it is on your relative bearing of 90 degrees. Understood? So that means if the speed and the tracks are matching so that you are in a collision course, the relative bearing will not change, but the aircraft starts becoming bigger. Okay. This is what I was trying to explain.
Got it. So
Got it?
then what action should we take?
Here, this guy has the right of way. You being on the left, you should
Yeah.
have the river course. Correct?
But usually, if in case we are in a collision with the upcoming aircraft, so we have to write off, right? But here we can't do that.
No, you can do that. I'll show you. See, you're here. This aircraft is here. Let's say this between you and the aircraft, the distance is 2 nautical miles. Generally, this is how the aircraft will come close, not so close. Now, see, you will start turning right. You will slow down and start turning right. Or maybe you will do a circle. The aircraft will be here. Okay, by the time you are back to original position. Correct. The aircraft will be here. You take your right.
Okay.
For example, we do circuit patterns in flying schools. Correct. For example, if this is your runway, circuit patterns means like you take off. All circuit patterns are towards left unless otherwise mentioned. Okay. You fly upwind, crosswind, downwind, base leg, finals, and comfort landing. Okay. So for example, you're flying like this and one more aircraft is closer to you. It is also in circuit pattern. Here in circuit pattern, at least 8 aircrafts can fly. I mean, if all people are like very much experienced. Okay. Now, see, imagine aircraft ahead you is Tecnam. Okay. Now it will put its flaps down at this position. Correct. Initial flaps will be down. Generally here final flaps will be down. Okay. Now now it is cruising at, let's say, 75 knots. Now being a Cessna here, correct, you are cruising, you did not put your flaps down, you are cruising at 85 knots. That means you are closing on this aircraft, correct? So you will say, for example, if this is Hyderabad Tower, Victor Tango Alpha Bravo Charlie, doing a circle to avoid traffic, correct? You will do a right side circle. So by the time you do your circle, okay, this Tecnam will be here and the gap is maintained. Okay, so the aircraft ahead will have the right of way. So you do anything, correct? So because see, why you have to do a right turn? Because if you do a left turn, you are going over the runway, correct? You may enter a sector. Generally, it is not advisable to do a right turn. All turns should be to the left. Sorry, to do a left turn. In cases of collision, everything should be to right. Because that is the general rule and everybody will be following. Correct? For example, you and me are on collision course. Okay. So I by default will turn right. Okay. If you turn to left, to your left, that means here, Amog, I will kill you. Don't turn. Turn to your right and get off. Get away. Clear? Am I clear? Is this doubt clear, everyone? Any other doubts? No? No. It's number one here to waste time. Correct, na? Anyways, I mean, you will need a clear understanding of this because these rules are there forever, na?
So someday it might come true. application in real life.
Daily it should come to application. Yeah, daily you will be flying in traffic pattern in your flying schools. Okay, it should come daily. That is why this chapter I'm a bit slow. Next chapter I'll be fast. See, for example, this is your runway. If an aircraft is coming to land on this runway. Okay. Now, for example, this is on finals. That means its flaps are out. Okay, landing flaps, landing gear is out, landing lights on. So it is configured to land. Okay. Its power is almost idle. If it is Cessna, it is already idle. It is just gliding. It is a Tecnam, almost idle, but still we keep some power. So that generally for Tecnam, it is the processor. As soon as you come very close, you cut the power, not at a height. For Cessna, I think you cut the power at, let's say 100, 200 feet. Azhar, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, for example, one aircraft is holding short. Okay, let's say this is Ramakant. See, imagine Ramakant is a very rich guy, and this whole airport is Ramakant's airport. Okay, all the Cessnas are Ramakant's Cessnas only. Here I am flying, Vamshi is flying. Now, can Ramakant say, yeah, this is my airport. Okay, you wait. I will line up and I will take off. Can he say that? No, because see, landing is very crucial phase of flight. Okay, if there is a phase which is very prone for accidents, it is either takeoff or landing. Correct. If you take the statistics, around 75 to 80% of accidents only happen in landing and takeoff phases. We'll learn in detail in human performance. Okay. Now, any aircraft, whether on ground or in air, has to give way to the aircraft which is in landing configuration. Okay. See, there are two aircrafts. Okay, one Vamshi is flying, another aircraft Lucky is flying. Okay, both are in landing configuration, both are coming to land. Okay, let's say I am flying a Cessna today. Lucky is flying a 737, Boeing 737. Okay, now which one has the right of way? Generally, which is closer to the runway will have the right of way. Okay, now see, let's say Lucky and I are at same distance from the runway. Okay, now but Lucky is flying a 737 and it is on a bit higher than my level. Okay, now should Lucky land first or should I land first?
You should land first.
Why? Because I am like, you have some respect on me. That's why Lucky. Thank you, Lucky. The Amok never kept that. Stupid. I will land first because see, I am closer to the ground, na? Okay, so the closer you are to the ground, the more danger it is. Correct. So the one which is closer to the ground will come and land. Okay, this may go for a go around, do a circuit pattern and then again come back for landing. Okay, now a guy like Amog, who is very kind of intelligent, will say he is behind me but he is below me. Correct. He will say I will come like this and land, na? Amog, you cannot do it. Okay, you cannot take the advantage of this rule and you cannot undercut me. Understand? Okay, so see, you have the right of way, technically speaking, on paper, but it is also written in the rule that you can never take advantage of this rule and you can never undercut me like this. Do not do it. Understood, Amok? So, an aircraft in flight or operating on the ground shall give way to aircraft in landing or in final stages of approach to land. Clear? Next. When two or more heavier than aircraft, that means like normal aircrafts, not glider, not balloons, not airships, are approaching an aerodrome for the purpose of landing, the higher level aircraft shall give way to the lower level. Okay. But the lower level aircraft, but the later, that means lower level aircraft like Amok will not take the advantage of this rule to cut in front of the other, which is in the final stages of approach to land. Okay. You should not overtake my aircraft, Amok. Am I clear? Okay. For example, one more rule. If this is a, like, let's say Lucky is flying a glider today. Okay, I am flying a Cessna. Okay. See, I can always divert, go around. I have power, correct? But Lucky, she's coming closer to ground. She will not have more power to climb up. So I should definitely give my way to gliders, even though it is at a higher level. Am I clear? Does it make sense? Okay. So the same hierarchy. Power driven aircraft towing, airships, gliders, balloons will apply here also in cases of landing also. Here, if there is a single word you don't understand, you ask me. Okay. So this will be your notes. This is hand typed notes. Everything from ICOV documents. Okay. It is like super understandable and easy. Okay. There are no mistake. I have cross-checked 100 times. The notes is very perfect. Okay. Here, see, Lucky has asked me to give the notes like I give for metrology and navigation. Or should I give you the slides? Whichever you're comfortable.
The slides.
Oh, now see, you are like taking the advantage. You are undercutting my this thing. Na? One will say notes and one will say slides. I'll give both. Okay, fine. I'm okay. But don't do in real life. Don't do while flying.
Sure, sir.
Now, for example, an aircraft declared Mayday. Okay. Even if you are just touching down, open full power, full power, don't occupy the runway. Okay. Just glide over the runway. Once your speed reaches, for example, you're flying a Cessna 70 knots or 60 knots, put your flaps up, nose up, climb off. Okay. So always give way to the aircraft which has which has declared a Mayday or which is in an urgent situation. Am I clear? Okay, next. Same scenario. This is the runway. This is the taxiway. Okay. I am here. I want to take off in this direction. The winds are favoring in this direction. Okay. I am flying a, let's say, Cessna 152. This is Ramakant aircraft. Ramakant is flying a private jet. Okay. Here, this is so powerful that it will just need this part of runway and it can take off. Private jets are very powerful, correct? Jet engines, only 10 passengers they carry. Payload is less. Correct. Now, once I started rolling, even though if Ramakant is comfortable doing this before time I reach here for my takeoff, can Ramakant do it? No. Correct. So always an aircraft which is taxiing or holding short of a runway will give way to aircraft which is taking off. Am I clear? So never do it. Here, what is the difference between Ramakant? You don't answer. Movement area maneuvering area. Spelling might be wrong, please ignore. What is the difference between movement area and maneuvering area of an aerodrome? Azhar, try.
Sir, maneuvering area is the parking area where
Let us say this is your gate. The aircrafts are parked like this.
yes,
Okay. So this is your taxiway.
taxiway is movement area.
Wait. This is your runway.
The runway is maneuvering area and taxiway is movement area. Educated guess, sir. That's it.
Educated. Oh, yeah.
Take runway is takeoff area.
See the English. See his English. Educated guess. Fine. I'll remember this. No? Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll get a chance to give educated guess. You asked out in navigation tomorrow morning. I'll educated guess. Take this as answer. English. Oh. Here, see, wherever, see, this area is your apron, correct? Here the passengers are coming into the aircraft. People are filling the fuel. Correct. So here there is a movement, but as a pilot, you will not be maneuvering the aircraft. Correct. People move there, but you will not maneuver the aircraft. Correct. See, movement area will include the apron plus taxiway plus your runway. All this is movement area. Correct. Where the aircraft moves, people move, etc., etc. Correct. But if you want to go and take off, see, in this apron, you will not move the aircraft. They will give you a pushback until you reach your taxiway like this. They will give you a pushback and until you will reach your taxiway. Correct. From here, you will turn your engines on and then you maneuver the aircraft and then you take off. Correct. So maneuvering area means only taxiway, that is where you maneuver the aircraft, correct, as a pilot. Only taxiway plus runway. Am I clear? Mandan, did you understand? The English, okay. Amok, educated guess, okay. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Let me. Is this understood? Shall I move on to next point? Aircraft on the maneuvering area. That means because this word came, na, I am teaching you this in advance. Generally, I teach this in navigation. Okay. So maneuvering area means an aircraft on taxiway or runway shall give way to aircraft taking off or about to take off. Correct. Now you may ask me a doubt, sir. If maneuvering way includes runway, correct? How come there are two aircrafts on a runway? Can there be two aircrafts on a runway while one aircraft is taking off? Can there be or not?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, correct. See, generally in a flying club, what happens is, like in my flying club, the whole shot was here. Correct? When we are using this runway for takeoff, like 5 or 6, not 5 or 6, maybe 3 or 4 aircrafts used to taxi together and they used to stand like this. Correct? First aircraft will come like this, second aircraft will come like this, third aircraft will come like this. Now, one will take off like this. After it reaches a certain level and it makes its initial turn, second will take off like this, third will take off like this. Correct? It means the two aircrafts which are behind this shall give way to the first aircraft. They will not interfere with this. Am I clear? Is the 17th point very clear? Here, same rules apply for aircrafts on the ground also. If two aircrafts are on collision course, they should turn right each other. Correct. If two aircrafts are on collision course on the ground, can't they apply brakes and stand there? The aircrafts in the air, mid-air, I understand they cannot apply brakes and stand. Na? Amok, can you stand in mid-air like this? Oh, no, I also cannot. Correct. So if two aircrafts are approaching head on, okay, they can either do the brakes and stop, okay, each shall stop, or if it is practicable, if each has two taxiways to the right, they will turn right. Okay, that stop or you turn right. Same rule. Okay, same way. If two aircrafts are on converging course or collision course like this, the aircraft on the right, even on the ground, will have the right of way. It will maintain its way and this will stop or it will turn right. Am I clear? If there is one taxiway, big taxiway, correct? This is a small aircraft. Can it taxi like this? No, you cannot overtake. Again, the aircraft will ahead will have the right of way. Okay. If there is another taxiway like this, like this, like this, which is very much clear, you can quickly go. Correct. But you should be very careful that where by the time this comes here, you should not be causing any trouble. Right. But don't do that. Huh? Now, here. On taxiways close to the runways, there are points called as hole shot points. They will look like this. Correct. See, no aircraft will cross a hole shot point without the tower giving them clearance. Am I clear? Am I clear? See, when you are at the hole shot waiting for your turn to line up, this is called as lining up. Coming and centering your aircraft with the runway center line is called lining. This is how you ask your lining clearance, to line up clearance. For example, this is Begum Bay Tower, Victor Tango Alpha Bravo Charlie. Hold shot runway. Let's say this is runway 27. Hold shot runway 27. Request departure. It means you are asking for departure. He knows that you are like holding short here. Correct? He will give the reply. Victor Tango Alpha Bravo Charlie, cleared to enter line up runway 27. That means he has cleared you to enter and line up runway 27. Correct? If you are coming to land, you will ask the permission like this. Correct? Victor Tango Charlie Bravo Alpha, approaching runway 27. Request clearance to land. Clear to land. Victor Tango Charlie Bravo Alpha. Now see, cleared is the same word used for this whole shot aircraft also. If an aircraft is coming to land, the same word cleared is also used. Correct? See, in real life, there are some controllers who are lazy, who will just say cleared. Correct? So once what happened was, landing clearance was given to this aircraft. It was like clear. Same aircraft, say at the same time, this aircraft was also asking to line up this runway. Okay. And there was some problem in the transmission. Both pressed this transmission button at once, and the pilot cleared this aircraft to land. Okay. This aircraft thought here they have given clearance for me, and it came and lined up the runway. This aircraft exactly landed on the runway. Nobody survived. Both aircrafts, everyone died. Because this aircraft is coming at what speeds? It was a 737 coming at around 200 knots or 170 knots, correct, while landing. This was a small aircraft which was a like 8-seater or something. Am I clear? This has really happened. When this kind of scenario happened, they have thought, here, how can we avoid these kind of scenarios? And they have made something called as light bars. But what happens is, here, there will be a lighted bar like this. You cannot cross this lighted bar when it is on. Correct. If you get a clearance to enter runway, the light bar will temporarily turn off. Then that means that yes, the clearance is for you only. You can go and line up. Am I clear? So when light bars are on, will you enter the runway? No. That means when the light bars are on, that means the aircraft is actively coming to land, some other aircraft. You did not get a clearance. No. Is it not very easy to understand which aircraft got the clearance or not using this method? That is implemented now. Correct. An aircraft taxiing on the maneuvering area shall stop and hold at all runway holding positions unless authorized by tower. Correct. An aircraft taxiing on the maneuvering area shall stop at all lighted stop bars. Okay, shall stop at all lighted stop bars and may proceed further only when the lights are switched off. Is this very clear, everyone? Darwin, Azhar, Kaustav?
Yes, sir.
Ramakant, Manthan?
Yes, sir.
Guys, take a break for 5 minutes. I'll see you at 7:40. 7:40 means I'll start the class at 7:40. You should be here first by 7:39. Break in the sense like new guys, you can just turn off your camera, be mute, and you can sit here or just relax. I'll just have a coffee and come back. 7:40 means 7:40.
How many minutes?
How many?
How many minutes it will take to complete the?
20 minutes. Do you want me to complete in 10 minutes? I can do it. 20 minutes is okay. Everybody on mute. See, coming to the lights displayed on the aircraft. Okay, you have in your notes a very good table which I have made. Okay, so I have together, I mean, all the information I put into this table. Okay, it is very haphazardous in ICOC, not ICOC, RK-Bali. Okay, see, there are mainly 3 types of lights: anti-collision lights, navigation lights, and strobe lights. Okay, there are other lights also, for example, landing lights. There are taxi lights also. Correct. For example, there are logo lights also to display the logo of aircraft. Correct. So there are a few different types of light, but these are the main lights. Every aircraft will have this. Okay. I have already taught you about navigation lights. Correct. They intend to indicate the relative path of the aircraft to an observer. Clear? What is the intention? Next. You know, red, port means left. Left means port. Okay, right means starboard. So starboard is right. 110, 110. Left has less number of letters, so red. Right has more number of letters, so green. Okay. One more thing I'll tell you. See, if 2 aircrafts are flying like this, okay. Now let's say this is aircraft A and aircraft B. Which has the right of way?
B.
Correct. Now, if the pilot at the B aircraft will look at the A aircraft, he will see which light?
Green.
Correct. If the pilot of A aircraft look at
Green
the
and
B
white.
aircraft, he will see which light?
Red and white.
Correct. Like red and white, but red light they see. Correct. So that's why if it is like you are seeing red light, that means you don't have the right of way. If you are seeing red light, you don't have the right of way. You don't have the right of way. If you see the green light of this aircraft, that means you have the right of way. That's how they have designed it. Am I clear? Am I clear? Does it make sense? Correct. Next. Here, when should you turn on your navigation lights, correct? Means when you start moving in the movement area, correct? Just before you taxi, navigation lights on, releasing brakes, and you taxi, correct? When moving on the movement area, that is how the checklist will be for any aircraft. You take any aircraft, Cessna or Indigo 737 or A320 or any like airliner. Okay, checklist will be in this with this kind of base only. Okay, next type is anti-collision lights. See, do you see lights if this is the aircraft? Do you see this kind of lights up and down which are red in color? Maybe I should have drawn the aircraft black. Correct. There is one light up and one light down. Correct. Now, if you take from the aircraft, if this is 0 degrees, up 30 degrees and below 30 degrees. Okay. Like if you are in this zone, generally you can see the lights. Correct. So these are anti-collision lights. Am I clear? Am I clear? Now, what do they indicate? They indicate that engines are running. Okay, I am moving. Don't collide with me. Correct. So even if the aircraft is on stand and it just is ready to taxi and it turned on its engines, it is an indication to personnel who is nearby. Your anti-collision lights are on. That means my engine, I have started. Correct. You should not start your engine before turning off these anti-collision lights. Am I clear? Am I clear? So these are flashing red lights. They are flashing red lights. Correct. Visible 30 degrees above and below the aircraft. If you are standing on ground, you can see you are below 30 degrees to the aircraft nose. Correct. So it is an indication that engines are running. Intention to attract the attention of an observer must be turned on as soon as the engines are running. At all times during day and night. If your engines are running, your anti-collision light should be on. Am I clear? Are the two lights clear? Navigation lights and anti-collision lights. Okay. The third light is strobe lights. Here, these are the brightest lights. Okay. They consume a lot of electricity. Okay. If you turn them on for example, half an hour, your battery will be dead. Then you have to tow your aircraft to your hangar, and then you have to recharge your battery to turn on your aircraft. Correct. Very bright, very powerful. Correct. Do you see the white flashing lights on the wings? Correct. Those are strobe lights. Correct. These are the brightest lights. These are the brightest lights. Correct. They are white flashing lights. High intensity white flashing lights. Here, why are so high? Why are they so high intense? Correct. Why are they so much bright? Because see, if an aircraft has turned on its flashing lights or flashing white lights, that is strobe lights, that means it is going to enter a runway for takeoff, or it can be coming in for landing. Understand? So you cannot turn on this strobe lights on the taxiway. It will be very disturbing to others also. Correct. It will flash into others' eyes, so bright. Correct. So you cannot turn on. Correct. The intention is to signal that the aircraft is entering or approaching an active runway. Correct. Am I clear? So when will you turn on? When you are entering an active runway for takeoff, or when you are coming for landing, until you are leaving the runway. Once you leave the runway, you can turn off your strobe lights. Am I clear? Strobe lights, how do they look? Can anyone describe strobe lights?
High intensity is the wing.
Correct. High intensity white flashing lights.
Flashing lights.
Navigation lights are steady lights. Right, green, left, red, and tail white. Anti-collision lights, flashing red lights. See, they will not show you diagram na, in exam. They will ask you the description. Correct. It is very important to understand. Okay.
When you go to turn on navigation lights.
Navigation lights, when you just move, that means just before taxi, turn on navigation lights and then release brakes and taxi.
Okay. And engine start, turn on the,
Anti-collision lights, you're asking?
yes.
Just before turning off your engine, you turn on anti-collision lights and then turn on the engine.
Okay.
Just before entering the runway, you turn on slope lights. Correct. Now, other lights, like while taxiing, for example, if it is night, you will have to see the taxiway. Correct. Correct. So you turn on taxi light. So if your aircraft is here, it will illuminate a lot of way. It will illuminate your taxiway. Okay. Now, the difference between taxi light and landing light. In some cases, both taxi and landing lights are same. Smaller aircrafts. The thing is, like when you're coming in for landing, you are generally like this, correct? At some angle. Of course, not so much because you have opened your flaps, it will make your nose down. But if you turn on a taxi light, it will illuminate like this, correct? You cannot see your runway in the night. Correct? So landing light will be positioned like this. So it will illuminate your runway. Okay, that is a different light, landing light. Correct. Now, for example, you're flying airplanes. Correct. I have seen like airplanes logo. I like it a lot. Correct. So your logo is here. Correct. For example, let's say this is your logo. Correct. You can turn on your logo light always. Correct. It should not be too bright and all. Correct. You should not disturb others. Am I clear? If someone says, yeah, you are ahead of me, I'm taxiing behind you on radio, someone says, please turn off your some light. For example, logo light. It is so much flashing or it is so much bright. You should be kind enough to turn it off. Am I clear? That is a rule. Correct. You cannot cause hazard with like turning on your lights too much, bright lights. Am I clear? Does that make sense? All the lights are clear. Correct. So no other lights likely to be mistaken for navigation lights should be turned on. Correct. You just read these lines, you will understand. Not many questions are there from there.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Mhm.
Can you give me the description of anti-collision lights? Like for navigation, it is steady, and for strobe, it is high intensity, no?
Correct. Strobe high intensity flashing white light.
Flashing white. Okay.
For anti-collision lights, it's flashing red light that is visible 30 degrees above and below the aircraft. Flashing red light. Last two rules, then we will complete general rules. Azhar, did you do your instrument flying?
Yes, sir, I do.
You did not. See, what happens when you're doing instrument flying is, Azhar, I'll put you on mute. What happens during instrument flying is, you'll be, here, 1 second here. You will be flying something called as under the hood. That means there will be a hood like this so that you cannot see outside, but you can see all the instruments. Correct. And there will be a pilot in command or your instructor monitoring you. Correct. Are you flying? Okay, like this. No instrument flight or flying under the hood. I mean, when you are getting your instrument rating, you cannot do it solo to get a rating. That's why instrument flying is always dual. Right? That's why they say here you have to fly, you have to do instrument flying, save some dual hours. That means go solo more so that at last you will not have a problem with your hours tallying. Clear? So always, if you are flying under the hood or simulated instrument flying, there should be a qualified pilot in the control seat who can take a look at the entire area. Understood? And both you and should have fully individual controls. Like you should have your DGI, he should have his DGI. You should have your rate of turn indicator, he should have his rate of turn indicator. Correct. So it should be dual controls, fully functioning. Am I clear? Next. Okay, fine. Last rule, when you are operating in the vicinity of the aerodrome, correct, make all turns to the left. Not like when you are on collision course. When you are on collision course, you will turn to the right. By this, what it means, like if you are, for example, flying a traffic pattern means circuits, different names. All your turns will be to left. See, left turn, left turn, left turn, left turn, come and land. Understood? So when you are flying in an aerodrome, most of the processors turns will be to the left. Correct. When you do instrument approaches, most of the processors will may ask you to turn to the left. Correct. Unless until it is otherwise instructed. For example, if you take Begumpet Airport, correct. Here, Begumpet Airport sector is like this. I mean, it is very close to my house. Okay, I'll take. Yeah, okay. Yesterday we have seen na screenshot. See, this is how the Begumpet sector is. I mean, it is big, a bit big. I'm just drawing so that you will have an idea. So this is 5 nautical miles, let's say. Correct. Here it is military area, Air Force. You cannot go in this direction. Correct. For example, if you are using this runway, which is I believe 2729 for taking off. Correct. So you cannot do a left hand circuit pattern. Okay. So when winds are favoring this runway also, you will be instructed to do right hand pattern just because you don't have rights to go into your Air Force area. They have prohibited it. Prohibited in the sense like they say don't come. So in that rare cases, you do right turns. If not, all traffic patterns in your life which you will be flying are towards the left. Am I clear? So this completes the general rules. Okay. Now we will do in next class flight plan. See, next class is super important. Flight plan is a thing which you will do before every flight in your flying school, and also when you are flying as like for pilot. I mean, if you are working, for example, in a chartered flight, okay, you will be responsible to file your own flight plan. If you are flying for Indigo or someone major airlines, they will have a dispatcher who will make it for you. Correct. But the thing is, like, these questions will come in navigation. These questions are important in regulations. In RT, there is an interview, correct? Most of the questions are on flight plan, correct? In RTR. More than this is very important for airlines. They will try and test you out on the basics of flight plan, correct? So what I'll do, not just like there is only one sentence, one paragraph that I have to cover for you in regulations, but I will spend one entire day covering all syllabus, all different what you will learn in navigation, what you will learn in RTR. I'll cover everything and I'll take one class on flight plan. Okay, so next class will be on flight plan, and then we will see VFR rules of one day and IFR rules same day, and then we will end the topic. Okay, slowly I'll end rules of air. Rules of air is a big topic. I'll go as slow as this. Okay, yeah, new students, I do not guarantee for regulations only that I'll complete it in 1 month, 2 months, correct? I'll take it at my own pace. Okay, every alternate day there will be a class, but whenever I complete the syllabus, you can give the on-demand examination. Am I clear? Other classes will be regular, very much regular. Every day there will be a class except on Sundays or Fridays, whichever you want a holiday.